I remember it like it was yesterday, riding with Altaïr through the desert, inhaling every pixel of the gorgeous scenery. Then finally arriving in the living, breathing city of Jerusalem, walking through the streets, observing the city's life. Finally, I started working on my contract, focused. I tracked down the witnesses, sneaked into off-limits areas and collected clues, from eavesdropping on important conversations to identifying my target and, in the end, eliminating it. It felt real to me. I was there personally doing the job. I was immersed. A lifelong memory was created. If you asked me today to retell the story of the first Assassin's Creed, you probably wouldn't get a comprehensible answer.
Ready? Go. Pass! 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 Ready? Go.
The central artifact!
A spoon. Your hands. Your face.
But I do remember the deep, distinct feeling this Ubisoft game gave me. However, the game was far from flawless. The list of activities I described at the beginning was more or less all the game had to offer, plus some sword fighting. Reviews at the time described Assassin's Creed more as a technological demo than a full-blown game. The graphics, historical detail and characters were top-notch. The gameplay, not so much. Or rather, not enough. The few activities the game offered started to feel quite repetitive after a while, and that feeling didn't improve until the very end. But Ubisoft, being Ubisoft, a creative French gaming company, did what a growing, enthusiastic studio with a lot of potential would do. They listened to players' feedback and improved. Assassin's Creed 2, complete with its later additions, was a real magnum opus. The studio took what made the original special, cooked it together with players' criticism, and served a meal that kept most of the original's taste, but spiced it up with a riveting, emotional story and, above all, a vastly improved variety of gameplay mechanics and activities. The product was exceptional. Ubisoft became the real gamer's darling. Look at that, EA. Look at that French punch. That's how it's done. That is passion. Fast forward almost 2 decades. Buying a Ubisoft game today feels like buying a McDonald's burger. It's a perfectly viable meal to still your hunger when there's nothing better in view. But then again, you probably wouldn't take your crush there on date night. You start the game up, or the beautiful graphics, complete a level or two, and start to realize you've been here before. Done this dozens of times already in dozens of other games. The enjoyment fades. The game is fine, serviceable, but it's empty, tasteless, like the last resort McDonald's burger. When buying stocks, you're 99% of the time better off investing into the broad market than trying to pick the one next big thing. Sure, identifying the next Facebook or Google would make you so rich you'd never have to work another minute in your life, but the probability of losing everything when you pick wrong is also sky high. The slow, average, but stable growth on the market is almost always the better choice. Ubisoft creates market games. The company has crafted the art of mediocrity to perfection. Its games are sterile, uninspired, but stable. The AAA gaming industry came up with a perfect formula. Their games are huge, look great, and are functional more often than not. They don't reach the absolute highs in review and gamer scores, but they also almost never fall into the red numbers. In this environment, the game development process is no creative affair, oh no, but rather a risk negation system. Every game follows the same approved formula. Every step along the development path is controlled. There are no surprises allowed. No unwelcome surprises, but unfortunately the good ones fall victim to the process too. And it is no wonder surprises are unwelcome. With the budgets new AAA titles devour during their development time, the risk of failure is astronomical. The development of the latest Assassin's Creed Shadows allegedly cost over $100 million. A behemoth like that simply isn't allowed to fail. Additionally, the biggest AAA titles aren't developed in one place. Teams from all over the world working on one project simply can't communicate with each other as efficiently as two people sitting in the same room. A lot of the time, a team is working on a feature without knowing its exact role and position in the final product. Dialogue is written and recorded without knowing the context it will be used in, and levels are designed with no idea how, or if, they will fit into the final world. In an environment like that, standardized processes aren't just a recommendation. They are an absolutely vital tool for a successful result. When playing a modern AAA product, we are not playing a game. We are playing an Excel sheet. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 came with a bang. And apart from collecting unfathomable praise from both media and the players, it also raised a question. How in the world is it even possible that a bunch of Ubisoft's former developers created something like this? How is it even possible that people coming from this sterile environment, developers without imagination and creativity, sat down and gave us one of the most emotional, creative and artistic experience in the last few years? Well, the answer is simple. The problem isn't at the developer's level. I'm not implying that everyone who's ever worked on a game sprouts creative energy, but a lot of people do. But in a multi-billion-dollar corporation, creativity is a problem. Thinking outside the box is dangerous, costly. A game made by an AAA corporation is supposed to keep us busy, just like a fast food burger sates our hunger. Nothing more and nothing less. Behind every corner, a new activity awaits, a new elite enemy. What does it matter if it's the same thing we did a minute or two ago? It generates a reward, a new weapon, experience points, and gives us a small, but not too large, dopamine push. And the next one, and the next. Just enough to keep us busy, to make us continue without even noticing that all we are doing is routinely checking off boxes on a to-do list. No artistry, no emotion included, no meaning. Outliers are prohibited. The people working in multinational gaming companies are no machines. They do feel emotions, they have imagination. They know what they'd like to experience in their games and what they are doing wrong. But innovation is only allowed when it fits into the corporate structures, the formula. Innovations in graphics or map size are easy to implement, easy to forward to teams all over the world. Changing the gameplay mechanics or the game's character, not so much. Every creative change costs the most precious currency: time. Time, the enormous corporation aiming to release yet another, bigger and longer game every year, simply doesn't have. And so another, bigger, but just as empty game is released. Not empty measured by the activities it's offering players. On the contrary, it's overflowing with things to keep us engaged. But empty in emotion, in soul. The thing is, the success of Expedition 33 was no sure thing. Creativity and innovation are apt to fail. New ideas must prove themselves. And when they do fail, the project is back to square one. They are a risk. A risk a company like Ubisoft, which has to satisfy its shareholders, just can't take. So it is better never to change the winning team. Never to leave the area of perfect mediocrity. So where is the problem? The problem is you and me. It's all of us. Every player going to the store and grabbing a game they know will look like, feel like and play like the last one. Every player pre-ordering yet another Assassin's Creed despite knowing months in advance what kind of game they will get. But we do it anyway. We buy because we hope that this time it will be better.
Shut up and take my money!
Or maybe we just want to experience the new setting. Fly through the world of Avatar, ride through ancient Japan. But by doing that, we only support the existing system. We support the emptiness because by taking out our wallet, we say, it's okay, just continue doing what you've been doing for years, Ubisoft, it's fine. An argument I've heard a lot is the money-time ratio. An $80 game must offer so and so many hours of playtime or else it's not worth the money spent. And I'm asking, why? Who and with what logic came up with this relation? Is it really so much better to stuff my mouth with a bucket of shit than to enjoy one plate of a good, tasteful meal? I, for one, would gladly pay even more for a Silent Hill 2 remake or Returnal. Games that don't beat me to death with dozens and dozens of empty hours, but give me, I don't know, an emotion, a memory to keep. I am purposefully not including Expedition 33 here because I'm not a fan, but more on that in another video. So guys, I'm out. I'm out of vast empty open worlds, of the repetitive Ubisoft slog. It's us who caused the problem. It's us who say by taking our wallets out, give us more of that shit and we will stuff our mouths full with it, and that's fine. The solution starts with us. I'm out. The question is, what about you? Let me know in the comments and consider giving the video a like. And subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.